Next, we're going to look at inscrutable, incomprehensible, and infinite. Now, these are two, and I'm not combining them. Incomprehensible and inscrutable is one, and infinite is another. And I'm not going to combine them because they're different, but I'm going to talk about them together. And according to Webster's dictionary, something is incomprehensible if it's incapable of being known or comprehended. See, God is far above us, and we can't totally understand Him and know Him. And an infinite God means that He's limitless, measureless, and boundless. Divine infinity indicates there's no limitations on God, like there are on us, finite creatures. And whatever God is, love, faithfulness, righteousness, kindness, whatever it is, powerful, it's without measure because it means each one of those attributes are infinite. Now, this picture was taken at Smoky Mountain National Park, and we can see that it's quite beautiful. But you know what? There's only so many leaves, so many trees, and so many colors. It's very limited. God is limitless. And it says in Psalm 145:3, great is the Lord, and highly to be praised. His greatness is what? It's unsearchable, it's unknowable, it's incomprehensible. It says this too, as well as 1 Kings 8:27. But will God indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, heaven and the highest heaven cannot contain you. How much less this house that I have built. This is Solomon talking about the temple. He says that can't continue because heaven cannot contain God. He's infinite. And how does creation reinforce these two attributes of God in me? All I need to do is look up at the sky, be it day or night. In the daytime, the blue sky, like here in Nebraska, can often seem endless. And think about that being who made the sky. And then look at the smallest wildflower at your feet and the tiny insect on it. The same being who made that insect made the blue sky. I'm often amazed when I look at flowers and I take pictures of them and I see tiny insects on it, such as that. Now this is a peony flower, but it's only about that much of a peony flower. How big is that insect? And just think, there's insects, there's life on Earth smaller than that, all over the world. And the same God that made that insect made the stars that fill the nighttime sky. That we see when we go out into the country, right? And we leave the city, we go to the country or the mountains. Like we have to leave to see these things. The stars that fill the nighttime sky. And we'll appreciate what God said to Abraham. And we can understand what He said. Now look to the heavens and count the stars. He says, if you can count them, so shall your descendants be. Right? So God used something in His creation to point out a spiritual truth to Abraham. He used the stars. And we can't understand that when we stay in the city. We have to go out to the country and look up and see all those stars. And Psalm 147 says, God counts the stars and gives them all a name. And that's wow, isn't it? That's amazing. I also get a greater appreciation of the incomprehensible God we serve and the infinite God we serve when I stand on the ocean shore. I mean, you take a look at that and it's vast. I used to live down in Florida, and I used to love standing on the shore of the ocean and just looking at wow. It gives a great appreciation for the vastness of God. And then I'd like to go swimming in it. I was just a tiny speck in billions and billions of gallons of water. And I used to scuba dive. And that was one awesome experience, to go down and see the beauty of what God's created underwater. And He's hid that beauty from most people. That He's given people like myself the opportunity to see it. But one time I was on a dive trip and we were out in the middle of the Bahamas. You could not see any land, right? There was no land, there was just our boat. And it wasn't too deep, so the boat had anchored there. And we spent the night there or something. And I jumped in the boat in the morning just to go for a swim. And there was nothing out there but me and the fish. What a great way to experience the infinite of God.